Hello, our happiness tribe members, new and old. Welcome to today's podcast. Please tell us where you're joining us from. We are streaming live on several platforms. So tell us which part of the world you are joining us from. I know Leslie, you said you're going to join us in the US, and your friends have seen them commenting. Dr. Gladys, and anybody else out there that's listening to our podcast. Put your comments, your questions, and let's just get onto this together. So this is Miss Kim from the Happiness Tribe with one of our usual topics that we want to get to understand. How does isolation affect us? So the topic is isolation as the growth limiter. How does it limit you? Have you experienced isolation in the past and how did you deal with it? So, researchers look at it in different ways. And when we say isolation is a growth limiter, we mean that cutting ourselves off, whether in business, relationships, or personal development, this can shrink opportunities. And growth drives when we connect, collaborate with communities. There's a key distinction in us having boundaries at the same time. So, boundaries are not the same as isolation. Boundaries protect us, they protect our energy, they create clarity, while isolation cuts us off from the very network that make us thrive. So, it's very, very important for us to be critical and mindful of the energy we are attracting, the usual slogan of you the average of the five people you hang out with. Are you capable of getting to know and identifying right now? I don't need to do this with anybody. I need to be me. I need my privacy. I need my me time. And also getting to look into when do I need to go out there and network with people. I remember at some point we had a meeting with, it was actually a social gathering with some diplomats. So it was quite high level. And then of course the speech was like maybe the official staff was like an hour, then it was an evening of socialization. And I usually like exposing youth that I work with to this kind of thing. So quite often I'll go with them. So now they're still hanging out with me, and I tell them, no, this is when, after this session, now you go and talk to different people. There was dinner, so people were sitting in different tables and just chatting. It was just people networking. And none of them came and asked me, how do I do that? Which hit me. Sometimes we assume it's so easy because some of us just naturally just network. I naturally speak to strangers. I don't even think twice about it. And we can be oblivious of. Some people get scared of meeting new people. So how do we get into that? Now let's first discuss boundaries versus isolation. Boundaries are intentional and they safeguard respect, mental health, and focus. That particular time that you guard your peace and say, I'm not going to be within this gathering, I will not be going out, I'll need my me time. And then isolation is quite often unintentional. So this is what starves clarity, creativity, blocks collaboration, and limits opportunities. So think about, though, like COVID really got us into a lot of loneliness. Some people were so isolated. I think 2022 5 global risks were analyzed. Uh, Five of them, among the five, I think number one was mental health, which is caused by loneliness. Which, yes, some of us are fortunate to live in places where we talk to strangers, we go to strangers' houses, there's always a party. There are some places that that's not possible. And there are also people who are not easily able to network with people, and that causes mental issues. So it's something to be mindful of. I look at like how we've created a community within LinkedIn where we've created friends We have that, actually that friendship translates to WhatsApp groups. We have the happiness tribe was born out of this. This is how we started the happiness tribe. It's wanting to reach out to people, create a community, network, interact. So this is critical, and it's important for us to be mindful of when do we want to create some boundaries, and when do we make sure that we don't isolate ourselves too much. So let's look into the economic impact of isolation. Entrepreneurs who isolate miss partnerships, clients, and funding opportunities. Sometimes it's a struggle for me to be in every event, in every workshop, and sometimes I don't even want to. But it's not about what I want to do, it's part of my business. So there are some that, yes, I can tick and go like, I'm going to miss on this one. But there are others that I just have to be in the room. This is important as we want to network and do business with people. So often you find, even within our workplaces, teams that work in silos underperform compared to those with cross-functional collaboration. It is so important for us to make sure that within our organizations or within our workspace, we are collaborating and working with others, because that only creates some great vibe. Sometimes we have this thing we do, calls. When you're doing cold calls to clients, we make sure we sit in one room and the energy is just amazing. Sort of we inspire each other. It actually becomes like a call center. And the more we do it, that vibe, the energy makes us feel what sometimes feels like a big task, it gets easier. And then isolation and innovation. There's no major innovation that was created in isolation. It came from shared knowledge and networks. You find people who are constantly breaking the glass ceiling. They network, they collaborate. I remember listening to a podcast on how Oprah created her amazing network. I don't know if she still does that, but apparently she used to host dinner parties at her house once a month. Just 30 people, but who will be there? This networking, this session, the dinner session, this is when she'll have the global leaders advising her what's happening politically. She will make suggestions on what she wants to podcast about or what she wants to talk about in her business, what the next venture. And think about it. When you sit with people in your house and you get on a table to dine, I think we call it breaking the bread. That just changes everything. You become friends. You relate in a different way. So that's what's apparently she created her wealth by networking, yet she is known to be an introvert. So think about it. She's an introvert, but she gets to know I need to go out there and meet with people, because that social currency is important. So you find like tech ecosystems thrive because of community, not solo effort. Same here. We work a lot in the tech space, and we make sure that there's a community. Like we're very active on our social media platforms, and that community comes and gives free advice, mentions you in a room you're not. It just creates another energy. You create a tribe. So there's also psychological dimensions that we need to think about. Connection fuels resilience, and isolation fuels burnout. If you keep staying in isolation, you're going to get sick. You start getting so lonely. I think we can all relate with the moments of sadness within COVID. So, well, at least we could not, we had lockdowns, we cannot leave. I think you've had a lot of people, our aged population, saying that they don't even want to shop online because that opportunity to go to the supermarket and meet the cashier is the highlight of the day or the week. I think it's countries like Denmark that have come up with libraries or some cafes that you just go to meet people. You just go and meet somebody opposite you and you talk. That's therapeutic. So it's important we make sure we don't get into those burnouts. Boundaries allow you to say yes to the right connection and no to energy drains. when you need to understand how to protect yourself, then you'll be very smart to get to know when there are communities you will interact with and you just go like, no, we are not aligned, and it's okay. So you choose and you put your energy where you need to, where it's important. Now, when we look at some of the practical applications, if you build a growth circle, you will have mentors and accountability partners. I'm very big on accountability partners. I always make sure there's somebody who keeps me on my toes, and we all do that. We all need that. And also having mentors. And my accountability partner could just be somebody like I'll tell something like, we're coming up with a workshop, and we need to have 50 people in that workshop, and I'm going to do a podcast every week promoting that workshop. So literally my accountability partner work is just to keep on supporting me and just guiding me. And it's not that it's in a nice, easy, friendly way that somebody keeps on supporting what you're doing. And somebody that you can call and you go like, I'm not sure this thing is gonna work. Can we brainstorm on something else? So ensure you surround yourself with accountability partners, which for me, my accountability partners, my mentors, translates literally from my social life, my family life to my working life. It's important and that matters to me. Then, of course, using digital platforms like LinkedIn or coming up with communities, even Facebook groups, and assist you to collaborate globally. I have so many people, like to think I have somebody like Miss Paula, one of our very good members of the Happiness Tribe, very active members of the Happiness Tribe. She's in Belize. I literally had not had much of Belize before I met her. That is so far away. And I think we've been friends now for more than 5 years. So this is somebody that not just mentorship for my business, it will be something personal about my family, and I'm able to reach out to her. So this is important. And especially for our youth out there, there's so many different strategies that you can use to make sure that you create your own tribe. Personally, because I'm already active on digital platforms, so I utilize that. But I also go for people's events. So I'll go for, like, there'll be a baby shower, there'll be a birthday party, there'll be a funeral. That's still spaces that you network because you can't live in isolation. Then, of course, invest in partnerships. Don't just protect your space, expand it. This is critical. You always need to make sure that you can be able to expand. You're not it's just like relationships. It's two-way traffic. It's give and take. So same I see as doing it, like, since you constantly support others, people would be compelled to support you. And this supporting of others does not necessarily mean specific people that you expected from people that you support. I kind of think it's just the way the universe operates, where you give, you just get blessed in other ways. So you find people you don't know just coming to your doorstep and really willing to support you. I've been running a social enterprise for the past 6 years. I've had amazing support from people coming from all walks of life. I remember one point we had a student donate to us. That really touched me. These are high school students. To date, we have so many people that support us, from in kind donations to in cash. And these are people who give with no expectations from my side. But I have to make sure I do the job, I show up. And that fuels me to keep on supporting other communities. So boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges. They create the self respect and clarity you need to connect meaningfully. It's important to have them. Yet, you need to understand isolation will limit growth, but connections with healthy boundaries multiplies it. So ensure you guard yourself, check on what network to join. I've seen lately we have Discord. I think Discord has actually been there for quite some time, which is a very nice networking platform. Then we do a lot of podcasts. I love what happens with before the LinkedIn audio room was really nice, though they stopped it. I don't know for what reason, but it was nice because it was instant. You network with people. So right now we're still looking into how we can get into platforms that we're able to get feedback real time as we speak to people, which is quite great. You want to interact, you want to create a community, you want to have this social circle, like they say, your network, your net worth. It's important. That closes our podcast for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week, Sunday, same place, same time. Thank you and goodbye.